Hi guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I want to make a video presentation of my mind mapping about factual language in learning. Without further ado, let's jump into the presentation. First, language is as such a complex phenomenon that it has become the common study point of many social sciences such as linguistic, psycholinguistic, social linguistic, neurolinguistic, and historical linguistic. From the perspective of linguistics, language is a system of arbitrary vocal symbols which permit all people in a given culture or other people who have learned the system of that culture to communicate or to interact. Vino Chiaro, 1964, page 8. The views that dominate the language learning and teaching approaches and method could be classified as structural view, functional view, and interactive view. In 1970s, Krashen described the monitor model in which the acquisition learning hypothesis takes place. He puts forward that individuals have two independent means of developing knowledge of a second language as acquisition and learning. While acquisition is a subconscious and intuitive process of constructing the system of a language. Learning is the process in which learners attempt to form, figure out the rules, and are generally aware to their own process. Next, the structural view treats language as a system of structurally related elements to the code meaning, while the functional view sees language as a vehicle to express or accomplish a certain function, such as requiring something. And next, the interactive view treats language a vehicle for the creation and maintenance of social relation, focusing on patterns of moves, acts, negotiation, and interaction found in conversational exchange. The main focus in this view is on the teacher, and product. Gus and Slinker put forward 9 dimensions which affect the language learning or acquisition process positively or negatively as effect, like social distance, age difference, aptitude, motivation, personality, learning style, and learning strategies. Psycholinguistic is the study of the psychological factor that enable humans to acquire, use, comprehend, and produce language. Foreign language anxiety is the feeling of uneasiness, worry, nervousness, and apprehension experienced by non-native speakers when learning or using a second or foreign language. Language shock refers to the realization that the learner must seem comical to speakers of the target language, while culture shock, which was firstly proposed by Oberg in early 1960. One of the hypotheses take place in Krashen's monitor model is the affective filter hypothesis. The affective filter is a theoretical construct that attempts to explain the emotional variables associated with the success or failure of acquiring or learning a second language. Next, there is psycholinguistic dimensions. For the first, there is a social aspect. Social aspects of using a second language cannot be ignored since second language learning involves the acquisition of a second identity. Next, there is age differences. Age differences is another dimension discussed under the headline of psycholinguistics. It is possible to get different views and studies about the influence of age on the language learning or acquisition process. Next, there is aptitude. Aptitude is defined as natural ability or skill at doing something. It from Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary in 2000. Language aptitude refers to the potential that a person has for learning languages. It doesn't revert to whether or not an individual can or cannot learn a foreign language. Next, there is motivation. Motivation is defined in the Oxford English Dictionary as a reason or reasons for acting or behaving in particular way, and a desire or willingness to do something, and enthusiasm. Motivation related to foreign language learning could be defined as the purpose for doing things that will lead to learning a foreign language. Next, there is personality and learning styles. Personality and learning styles are among the psycholinguistic factors which affect the foreign language learning process directly or indirectly. Personality is the particular combination of emotional, attitudinal, and behavioral response pattern of an individual. Some aspects of personality and learning style are extroversion or introversion, risk-taking, field independence or dependence, and visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. To get an effective foreign language teaching or learning process, it is important to choose appropriate methods, techniques, and material in accordance with the learner types. And next, there is learning strategies. Learning strategies is the last dimension discussed under the heading of psycholinguistic factor, which affect the foreign language learning process. Learning strategies are used by students to help them understand information and solve problems. Learning strategies consist of four main components as cognitive strategies, metacognitive strategies, social strategies, and affective strategies. The context of foreign language learning, the key issue is how to learners strategically use linguistic information to practice the target language. That's all from me. I apologize if there is mistake and if my grammar and my pronunciation is not clear enough. And assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.